Hey, shalom everyone, this is Kris Shoemaker, also known as Yehudah ben Shomeyr, and welcome to the Daily Drash. Today's Daily Drash is taken from Deuteronomy chapter 5, and I'm going to be reading from the World English Bible. It says, Moses called to all Israel and said to them, Hear, Israel, the statutes, the ordinances, which I speak in your ears today, that you may learn them and observe to do them. Adonai our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. Horeb is just another name for Sinai. Adonai did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive today. So this covenant being spoken of is the Mosaic covenant. And if you research the scriptures, there are approximately 8 different covenants that God gives and makes with human beings throughout the scriptures. You have the Adamic covenant, the Noahic covenant, the Mosaic covenant, the Davidic covenant, the Abrahamic covenant, and so on and so forth. So basically, these covenants are not separate and relegated alone to themselves. These covenants are actually they compound, they build upon one another. One covenant bleeds in and leads into the next, and the Mosaic covenant is kind of like a culmination of all the covenants that were before it and sets up for all the covenants that come afterwards. And we see later that the Mosaic covenant is renewed, and it's called the renewed covenant or the Brit Hadasha, otherwise known as the New Testament, where Yeshua just reiterates in the Torah, according to the prophecies given by Isaiah and Jeremiah and other prophets such as this. But we're kind of getting off on a little rabbit trail here. So I just want to focus on this Mosaic covenant. It's interesting that the Mosaic covenant was codified and ratified and made official and eventually written down at this time, and that's why we have it today. But prior to that, it's not like the Mosaic covenant didn't exist before that. It wasn't called the Mosaic covenant, of course, but the Mosaic covenant is called the instructions of God or the laws of God or the law. Before it was verbally given to Moses and Moses pinned it down and it became set in stone, literally, it was oral. It was passed down from generation to generation, from father to son, and it was passed down because things that are written in the Torah, the patriarchs, from Adam to Abraham, and so on, they already knew these things. They knew them. You just go back to Genesis, where Cain and Abel, they make sacrifices unto the Lord. How did they know to do that? Who told them to do that? The type of sacrifices they made was the sacrifices that was commanded in the Torah. It was already there. It was there orally before it was there written. And same with the kosher dietary laws, the clean and the unclean. How did Noah know the difference between a clean and unclean animal when he took them on the ark? How did he know the difference? How did he know to sacrifice a clean animal as opposed to an unclean animal? What constituted a clean animal as opposed to an unclean animal? That's because God told him. It's because that knowledge was passed down from Adam, to all the sons after him, and eventually to Abraham, and so they knew these things. So the law and all the commandments given in the book of Moses were oral in nature before they were written down. Now, in slavery in Egypt, I'm sure that a lot of the commandments were forgotten or just put on the back burner, and some of them weren't transmitted from generation to generation. Therefore, they were kind of lost. And when God gave the commandments to Moses at Mount Sinai, all those commandments that they've kind of lost track of or forgot about was remembered again and reiterated again, and the covenant was renewed again with them at Mount Sinai with all these laws. So, and then I think of Psalm 119. A lot of people say that the law is a burden or that the law is a curse. That's not the way David looked at it. King David was head over heels, madly, deeply, and passionately in love and obsessed with the laws of God. He said that they were good, that they were righteous, that they were his life, that they brought him joy, that they brought him peace and safety and tranquility and benefit. And, he just can't say enough about the law and the different aspects of the law. So the law is for us today, and as I've said many, many times before, it's not just for the Jews, because the Jews didn't exist when the law was given at Mount Sinai. They were the Israelites. They were the 12 tribes who was with the 12 tribes and accepted the law along with the 12 tribes of Israel. It was the mixed multitude that came with them out of Egypt, at least one representative from the 70 root nations. So they're not just for the Israelites, they're for the nations, for the Gentiles as well. They're for anybody who wants to worship and attach themselves to the God of Israel. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Go out there and have a great day. Shalom and Shavua Tov.
Abraham'sDescendants.com, getting back to the first century in a 21st century way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press the like button as well as the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and the notification bell that'll let you know every time I make a new video. And don't forget to share this with a friend. Also, visit our website at Abraham'sDescendants.com. Thanks. Shalom.
Thanks for watching. Stay connected by subscribing to our other social media accounts and visiting our website at Abraham'sDescendants.com.